Ladies and gentlemen, in this world we often look to others and see their success, their greatness, and we long for that same recognition. But what many fail to see is the path that leads to greatness is not one that is paved with ease, comfort, or popularity. It's a road that is often lonely, challenging, and filled with obstacles. The journey toward true greatness is not a walk among crowds or applause, but a solitary climb, one that demands sacrifice and unwavering commitment to something greater than ourselves. Greatness, my friends, is not found in the applause of the world. It's not found in the shallow praise of fleeting moments. It is found in the quiet moments when no one is watching, when you stand alone in the face of adversity and you make a decision to continue moving forward. You see, greatness is built on the foundation of perseverance, humility, and the willingness to do what others won't. The lonely road to greatness calls us to rise above the noise of the world. It calls us to stand firm in our convictions, even when those around us doubt, criticize, or mock us. There are times when you will feel like no one understands, no one is there to cheer you on, and it will feel as though the world is against you. But let me tell you, this is the very place where your character is forged. This is where you learn what it truly means to stand in faith, to hold on to what you believe, even when the path ahead is unclear and the world is unsure of your purpose. It is in the moments of loneliness that you discover your true strength. You see, greatness is not measured by the number of followers you have or how many people admire you, but by how you carry yourself when no one is watching. When the pressure is on, when the nights are long, when you stand alone in the quiet, it's then that you are truly tested. It is then that your greatness is made manifest. And the journey isn't easy. The road to greatness is filled with trials. You will face opposition, rejection, and sometimes even failure. But each step you take, each moment of struggle, is part of the process of becoming who you are meant to be. And as you travel this road, you will find that the pain is not in vain. The struggle is shaping you. The loneliness is refining your spirit. The difficulty is strengthening your resolve. Indeed, the impact we are meant to make, that many will try to pull you off course. Many will tell you it's too hard, too much to bear, but there is something about walking this road that makes you realize you are not alone, even when you feel the weight of isolation. For when you have a purpose that is bigger than yourself, when you are driven by a mission that is greater than the world's fleeting praise, you will find the strength to keep moving forward. Greatness is not for the faint of heart. It requires a deep, unwavering faith, a faith that stands strong when the world is uncertain. It calls for a heart that is willing to serve, to sacrifice, and to remain faithful when no one is around to encourage you. This road will test you, but it will also transform you. And as you walk this lonely road, you will find that it leads to something far greater than personal recognition or fleeting fame. It leads to a purpose, a calling, a legacy that will endure long after the applause fades away. It leads to the kind of greatness that changes lives, the kind of greatness that impacts hearts and souls, not through fame, but through service, sacrifice, and love. So take the lonely road, embrace the struggle, walk with integrity, walk with purpose, and remember that true greatness is born in the quiet moments of dedication and perseverance when no one else is watching. Greatness is built on perseverance. The journey to greatness is not easy or glamorous. It is forged through enduring challenges, facing setbacks, and continuing forward when the path is difficult and lonely. True strength is discovered in solitude. The lonely moments when no one is watching are where your character and true strength are shaped. Greatness is revealed in how you stand firm in those quiet, tough moments. Opposition is part of the process. Rejection, failure, and criticism will come. but they are not barriers to success. They are part of the refining process that leads to greater resilience and purpose. Greatness is not for recognition, but for purpose. True greatness isn't about seeking applause or validation from others, but about being driven by a deeper mission, a higher purpose that transcends worldly recognition. Loneliness leads to transformation. The lonely road shapes you, refines your spirit, and strengthens your resolve. It's through the hardships and solitude that you are prepared for the greatness you are meant to achieve. Greatness isn't something that happens overnight. It's not the result of a single moment or a single decision. Instead, it's the outcome of a long, sometimes difficult journey where perseverance is the driving force that keeps you going when everything else seems to be working against you. The path to greatness is not easy. It's a road full of obstacles, setbacks, and challenges that can make you question why you're even on this path in the first place. But those who achieve greatness do so not because they were the most gifted or the luckiest, but because they refused to give up when the journey became tough. Perseverance is what keeps you moving when the road gets rough, when you face failure after failure, and when you feel exhausted both physically and emotionally. It's what pushes you to get back up after you've fallen down and to keep putting one foot in front of the other, even when the finish line seems so far away. It's easy to start something, but true greatness requires the ability to stay the course. Even when the world tells you to quit, it requires patience, determination, and an unshakable belief in your purpose. In fact, it's the ability to persist through difficulty that shapes a person's character. Anyone can succeed when things are easy, but the true test comes when life presents its challenges. It's in those moments that you discover what you're really made of. You learn what it means to keep going when everything inside you tells you to stop. Perseverance is about staying true to your vision, even when others doubt you or when the path forward seems unclear. It's about digging deep within yourself to find the strength to continue, even when every step feels like it takes everything out of you. Greatness doesn't come from avoiding failure. It comes from learning how to rise again after falling. Each time you persevere, you gain wisdom, strength, and resilience. You learn how to handle adversity, how to cope with the weight of disappointment, and how to turn failure into a stepping stone for future success. Each struggle refines you, teaching you lessons that ease the way for the next hurdle you'll face. And while perseverance might seem like a personal trait, it's often shaped by something much larger, your faith in the purpose of your journey. When you are driven by a cause greater than yourself, it becomes easier to persevere because you know that what you're doing matters. Greatness is achieved not in the moments of comfort or success, but in the persistence during the hard times. It is in your decision to keep going, even when no one else sees the work or the effort you're putting in. The strength to persevere comes from knowing that the results are worth the struggle, and that even the most difficult moments are part of a larger, more meaningful journey. Ultimately, perseverance is what separates those who achieve greatness from those who give up along the way. It's the unwavering commitment to your vision, your values, and your purpose that pushes you to keep moving forward, no matter the cost. And it's through this perseverance that you will discover your true potential, unlocking the greatness that lies within you. There is a deep, often unspoken truth about strength that many people overlook. True strength is not always seen in moments of triumph or celebration, but rather in moments of solitude. When the world quiets down and the distractions fade away, it is in the stillness where we confront ourselves, our doubts and our fears. In the solitude, there is no one to impress, no audience to perform for, no external validation to rely on. It's in these moments that we are forced to face the rawness of who we are. And it is here that the foundation of true strength is built. When we are alone, We are no longer surrounded by the noise of the world. And it is in this space that we can hear our inner voice. It is easy to ignore our weaknesses, to push aside our insecurities, or to avoid the hard questions when we have others around to distract us or to tell us what we want to hear. But when we are by ourselves, we cannot escape the confrontation with our own limitations. And in that confrontation, we find the opportunity to build our strength. The kind of strength that isn't dependent on the opinions of others, but instead comes from the quiet confidence of knowing who we are and what we stand for. Solitude has a way of sharpening our character. It challenges us to confront our fears, doubts, and insecurities head on. In these private moments, we often come face to face with the most difficult parts of ourselves, those parts that we might prefer to ignore or deny. Yet, it is in these very moments that we learn the most about ourselves. We realize that we are capable of more than we thought, that we can endure more pain than we ever believed, and that we have a well of strength deep within us that doesn't depend on external circumstances. Solitude reveals that true strength doesn't come from what others think of us or from the praise we receive. It comes from the quiet inner resolve to face ourselves honestly and continue moving forward, despite our imperfections. In times of solitude, we also gain clarity. When we're alone, we're able to focus on what truly matters: our goals, our values, our purpose. The noise and clutter of the outside world can easily drown out the things that are most important to us. But in solitude, we are able to hear what's truly within our hearts. It is here that we tap into our core motivations and find the strength to keep going when the world seems indifferent or unaware of us. It is in these solitary moments that we develop resilience. We learn to trust ourselves, to depend on our own abilities, and to be our own source of encouragement. While others may be distracted by their own lives or busy with their own concerns, solitude gives us the opportunity to become our own motivator, our own source of inner strength. When we learn to stand firm on our own, to find peace and purpose in solitude, we develop a strength that is not reliant on others, but is deeply rooted in who we are. Strength discovered in solitude is not fleeting. It's not the kind of strength that comes from temporary validation or external achievements. It's a strength that endures, a strength that is deeply connected to our character and our values. It is the kind of strength that enables us to stand firm when the world is chaotic, to persevere when others doubt us, and to remain steadfast when we feel alone. True strength is not found in the applause of the crowd, but in the quiet moments when we find the courage to keep moving forward even when no one else is watching. In every journey toward growth, achievement, and success, there comes a time when opposition will inevitably arise. It is a natural part of the process, a challenge that all must face. Opposition, in many forms, tests our resolve, forces us to reassess our direction, and pushes us to dig deeper within ourselves. It may come in the form of criticism, rejection, failure, or even the doubts and fears we hold within. But opposition is not something to fear or avoid. It is an essential part of the journey that helps us grow and ultimately reach the heights we aim for. When we face opposition, it often feels like an obstacle, something that stands between us and our goals. But opposition is not a sign that we are on the wrong path. It is, in fact, a confirmation that we are moving forward, that we are stepping outside of our comfort zones, and that we are pushing against the forces that try to keep us stagnant. Those who achieve greatness understand that opposition is not an external enemy, but a powerful teacher. It teaches us resilience, determination, and the ability to adapt when circumstances change. Sometimes opposition shows up in the form of criticism from others. People may question our ideas, our abilities, or our motives. They may not see our vision or understand why we are so committed to a particular goal. It can sting when others doubt us, especially when their opinions challenge something we believe in deeply. But it is in these moments of opposition that we find out what we are truly made of. Are we willing to stand firm in our beliefs even when those around us doubt us? Are we ready to continue forward, knowing that the path we are on may not be fully understood by others? Opposition forces us to define our purpose and to become more certain of why we are pursuing what we are. Opposition can also take the form of failure. There are times when, despite our best efforts, things don't go as planned. We may fall short of our goals or face setbacks that seem insurmountable. It is easy in those moments to want to give up, to believe that we are not capable or that success is simply beyond our reach. But failure is not the end. It is a part of the process. It is through failure that we learn the most valuable lessons. We discover what works and what doesn't, and we gain insight into how we can improve. Every failure brings us closer to success because it forces us to adjust, to refine, and to press on with even more clarity and focus. There is another form of opposition that comes from within. Our own fears, insecurities, and doubts can be the most formidable obstacles we face. These inner voices often tell us that we are not good enough, that our dreams are too big, or that we'll never be able to achieve what we've set out to do. These doubts can paralyze us if we let them, but they also serve as a catalyst for growth. They challenge us to confront our limitations and to push beyond them. The real victory comes when we face these inner fears head on and choose to move forward, regardless of the voice that says we can't. Opposition, in whatever form it takes, is a natural part of the process of becoming the person we are meant to be. It forces us to grow, to evolve, and to become stronger. Without opposition, there will be no need for perseverance, no room for courage, and no opportunity to truly test the depth of our commitment. It is through opposition that we find our true strength, our resilience, and our capacity to continue on when the road gets tough. When we view opposition not as an obstacle, but as a necessary part of our journey, it shifts our perspective. We begin to see challenges not as signs that we should quit, but as opportunities to develop the character and skills we need to succeed. Opposition refines us, sharpens us, and teaches us how to navigate the challenges that come with pursuing anything worthwhile. It's not the absence of opposition that defines success, but how we respond to it, how we use it to propel us forward, and how we allow it to shape us into the person capable of achieving our dreams. Greatness is often misunderstood in our world today. We tend to equate it with fame, applause, or recognition, believing that to be truly great, we must have our names in lights or the admiration of the masses. But true greatness doesn't stem from the need for recognition. It is not built on the foundation of being noticed or celebrated by others. Greatness, in its purest form, is rooted in something far deeper: purpose. Purpose is the compass that guides us through the trials and triumphs of life. When we are driven by a purpose greater than ourselves, recognition becomes secondary. It's no longer about being seen or praised, but about fulfilling a calling that resonates in our hearts and aligns with the deeper meaning of our existence. When we understand our purpose, we are willing to pursue it regardless of whether or not others notice. We are willing to give our best effort, not for the applause, but because we believe in the work we are doing and the impact it can have. It is easy to get lost in the pursuit of recognition. Society often celebrates those who are in the spotlight, those who achieve outward success. But there's a quiet power in working towards something that may never be fully recognized by the world. True greatness is measured not by how many people know your name, but by the positive change you make in the lives of others, even in small, unseen ways. The impact you have when no one is watching, the difference you make when there's no reward or acknowledgement. That is the essence of greatness. Purpose provides a deeper sense of fulfillment than recognition ever could. When you're working toward a meaningful cause, the satisfaction comes from the progress you're making, the lives you're touching, and the values you're upholding. It comes from knowing that what you are doing matters, even if the world doesn't stop to acknowledge it. Those who are truly great find fulfillment not in the external accolades, but in the internal sense of knowing they are doing what they were meant to do. They find peace in the pursuit itself, not in the praise that may or may not come. Moreover, when greatness is driven by purpose, it withstands the test of time. Fame and recognition are fleeting. They can come and go in the blink of an eye, and they often don't last long enough to provide lasting satisfaction. But when you are focused on purpose, the work you do, the values you hold, and the people you serve are lasting. A purpose-driven life may not be filled with constant recognition, but it leaves a legacy that endures far beyond the fleeting praise of the moment. Purpose endures because it is grounded in something deeper, something more meaningful, something that transcends the limitations of time and external validation. Of who we. Purpose also gives us the strength to endure when the road gets tough. When we are recognized for our efforts, it's easy to feel motivated to continue. But when recognition fades or is absent altogether, purpose is what keeps us moving forward. It gives us the endurance to push through obstacles, to keep going when things get hard, and to stay committed even when no one else sees the work we're putting in. Purpose sustains us during the hard times because we know that what we are doing has meaning, even if the results are not immediately apparent or celebrated. Greatness that comes from purpose isn't dependent on the opinions or approval of others. It doesn't require applause or public acknowledgement. It's a quiet, steadfast dedication to something that matters. Something that brings meaning and fulfillment to both the person pursuing it and the world around them. And in this pursuit, greatness is found not in the recognition we might receive, but in the depth of our commitment to fulfilling our purpose with integrity, passion, and resilience. Loneliness, though often feared or avoided, is one of the most profound forces in personal transformation. In a world that celebrates constant connection, the idea of being alone can feel intimidating, even overwhelming. Yet it is in those solitary moments when the noise of the world fades away that we have the space to reflect, to heal, and to grow. Loneliness, far from being an enemy, is a teacher that guides us towards self-discovery and profound change. In solitude, we find the space to understand our deepest desires and motivations. We no longer have the external validation of others to tell us what we should want, what we should value, or how we should behave. In the quiet, we can hear our true desires, the ones that have been drowned out by the expectations of society or the voices of those around us. This awareness gives us the power to make choices that are aligned with our authentic self. The loneliness forces us to listen to our inner voice, and in doing so, we become more in tune with who we are and what we truly need to lead a fulfilling life. Transformation through loneliness often leads to a deeper understanding of our purpose. When we are surrounded by others, it is easy to be influenced by external expectations, to follow paths that are dictated by the crowd or society. But in solitude, we are free from these influences. We are able to reconnect with the essence of who we are and what we want to contribute to the world. The time spent alone can bring clarity to our vision, allowing us to see more clearly what we are meant to do with our lives. This newfound sense of purpose becomes the driving force behind our transformation, providing direction and motivation as we move forward.